As we enter this new week, we are at the mercy of the Fed folks again, giving us their pronouncements this coming Thursday and Friday. This might be a good time to put in some shorts on Wednesday ahead of those speeches. That is not investment advice. Who knows? Maybe they'll be more dovish, right? Well, Nvidia seems to be the headline issue for the entire week, and they're expected to kill it. So we'll talk about all that as we get into it. This is Randy Kirk. If you like my Sunday night show, which actually turns out to be the overall most popular show of the entire week. We're doing 21 shows a week right now. Hope you're getting involved in some of them and enjoying them, but let me know by hitting like if the Sunday night show is one that you do enjoy. On Sunday nights, what we try to do is we try to look at the financial stuff that's going to be happening all week long, specifically, of course, with regard to Tesla. And, what do we think the markets are going to do? And our crazed idea that maybe we have some idea of what that's going to be. Anyway, hit Patreon too. The information will be down below where you can just hit the link, take you right to Patreon, and you can get in for free for 7 days. And then it's only $5 a month if you decide to join. All right. Nvidia will be reporting earnings Wednesday after market. Okay, Wednesday after market. So the after hours will be impacted. We'll get to see what people think about the Nvidia numbers, and they are expected to be quite strong. Some people are saying extremely strong, way over what the street is expecting. Well, if they're expecting them to be way over what they're expecting, then why haven't they changed what they're? I'm confused. Okay. So Nvidia, though, is being sold by the analysts and the pundit class as a bellwether for the entire AI and tech sectors. The entire narrative all comes down to what Nvidia does. But the tech companies, which are way bigger than Nvidia, they did just fine in the earnings, and all of their guidance, almost all of their guidance was good. So I'm not sure how Nvidia changes the picture. So anyway, however, it'll be good. They're not in the same season as the rest of them, so it'd be great for them to have a great beat this week, and that'd be a good thing. Might help stimulate the market a little bit. If it wasn't for the dreaded Fed speeches the very next day. And then on Friday, Powell comes in, summarizes what's going on in that meeting, and he could kill it even further. Well, let's take a look back. Walmart beat and then dropped. I mean, they beat and their guidance was excellent and they dropped. John Deere, which is considered another canary in the coal mine either way, positive or negative, they beat and they dropped. Nvidia is likely to go up, but not sure it'll be a market stimulus. I just don't know. We may just really be in the doldrums until the PCE comes out on the 31st. And there's a lot of other big stuff happening next week. We'll talk about that more next Sunday, but we'll talk a little bit about it down below. So what is coming up this week? Nothing on Monday. I mean, there's really nothing all week, but there's nothing on Monday. I mean, zero. Then on Tuesday, we have existing home sales. Existing home sales now are 100% driven by, well, okay, let me start over. Existing home sales are driven by a combination of high interest rates, which are keeping people from buying, high interest rates, which are keeping people from selling. Because why would you sell your house when you're sitting on under 3% mortgages? You're never going to sell. And you also have this massive increase in the amount of equity in the home. You're just never going to sell it. I mean, we have 2 rental homes. We're never going to sell them. They're going to be passed on to our kids in the trust. I mean, they're never going to be on the market. You guys can call, you real estate guys can call me over and over and over again and tell me how much my house is worth. We're never going to sell them. I mean, and that's multiply that times thousands, tens of millions of people. So for those 2 reasons, existing home sales are in a complete bust right now, and will continue to be in a complete bust until there's more inventory coming on stream. And there are some evidence, as we talked about that all last week, there was some evidence that there are more permitting, more starts, et cetera. And eventually over time, maybe we'll see some relief, but not anytime soon. Oh, in the winter, we'll see a little bit of, well, it won't increase home sales. The existing home sales will actually go down in winter, but the prices might cap off. They might not go up as much as they're going up right now. So then the next day on Wednesday, we do have new home sales. Again, same thing. They're selling well. All of them are selling. They're selling at good prices. There's nothing. It's really not going to affect the market. Nobody's going to make a decision on either one of those things. Now, we have S&P Flash Services PMI on Wednesday, as well as manufacturing PMI on Monday. Both of those are going to be indicative of where is the overall business climate. How does the business climate look? We would hope to see both of those, improving, because we do want the economic climate to be improving as the inflation goes down. Those two combined seems to be one serious analyst after another that I can't tell you how many shows I've watched, can't tell me how many articles I've read, and pretty much everybody's of a mind now. There's a few that still think we have a recession coming. They are in the minority. All right, so those are coming up on Wednesday. On Thursday, that's when we get the Fed official interviews. Fed's officials, plural, several officials will be interviewed from the Jackson Hole Summit. I can't even imagine how good that's going to be. then on the same day, every week, of course, we have initial jobless claims. I'm expecting those to be around the same. I can't imagine they're going to go up or down from where they've been. Durable goods orders will also be that morning, and then durable goods orders minus transportation. Once again, I would expect these both to be slightly increasing. I don't expect any big increases. If they decrease radically, that could be another negative on the market on Thursday. Friday, Powell gives his opening speech at Jackson Hole Summit. And then on 10 o'clock that same day, so I won't be able to report on that until Friday night. We get the University of Michigan consumer sentiment final numbers. I think that'll be an interesting one. I don't think it'll move markets, but we would like to see consumer sentiment improving, and I think it will be. People are getting paid more. They're getting decent hours. They believe that their job is solid. They believe that they could move to another job if they did get laid off. They have plenty of money in the bank. They don't have a big credit problem. The consumer should be feeling pretty good right now. All right, so here's a next topic I'm calling Your Government at Work. Quote, even under a scenario with high oil prices, electric vehicles will account for less than 1/3 of car and truck sales through 2024. No. Through 2030. No. Through 2050. 1/3 through 2050, according to projections from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. This statement will not age well at all. And we have to pay these guys? Oh. On the other hand, here's a government employee with a novel idea. Listen to this. A deputy administrator at NASA. He says, we recognize the need to bring costs down, and we think commercial partners are better at that than the government is. Could somebody please put that into some kind of a t-shirt or something we could hang on the wall? Oh my gosh, that was really, really good. Okay, now the next department, this is the slow news in August department. It's about the only thing that I could come up with and the only thing anybody's coming up with. There's no news out there at all. Oh no. Cybertruck's stainless steel body could make it prone to smudges and extra fingerprints, an issue that is commonly seen with stainless steel appliances. The Cybertruck is the first stainless steel vehicle to be produced since DMC made the stainless steel DeLorean and later halted production in 1883. Stainless steel is like that sleek black car, beautiful, quote unquote, beautiful when it's clean and shiny, but often looks dull and dirty if not properly maintained. I had an all-black Jaguar. I will tell you, it was the first and last all-black car. I will never own another all-black car. This was according to Tim Kahn, president and co-founder of Image One, a commercial cleaning company, telling Architectural Digest in July. For appliances, experts typically recommend owners clean the stainless steel surfaces about once a week to keep them from looking grimy, and even apply olive oil to help keep smudges at bay, the publication said. But it's unclear what Tesla plans to do to address the issue, and it's a problem area some Cybertruck fans have identified in the past. In other words, you got to wash your car once a week. Yep. Okay. Anyway, now what would I change? We got the Model 3 Highland coming. according to everybody except for Warren. And I had that discussion with Warren, even though he wasn't there this morning or this afternoon. If you didn't see that show, you need to go back and look at that show. Yes, there is a Highland coming. It may not be called a Highland, and then maybe Warren will say that he was right. There was not a Highland, but whatever it is, there's going to be a Model 3 major refresh. And I have a recommendation or two with regard to what I'd like to see on that car. Now, you have to keep in mind that my favorite cars of all time, please let me know your favorite car of all time in the comments, okay? Maybe you agree with me, but probably my number one favorite of all time is the Jag XKE. It would be closely followed by the 57 T-Bird and then the Dodge Challenger. I had the very first, the 1970 Dodge Challenger, yellow with a black racing stripe. It was my very first new car. I still love how the Challenger looks right now, not only the 70, but the brand new versions. Every one that I pass, I scope out. I mean, they're all the same, except maybe the color and whether they've been, raised or lowered or whatever they've done to them. But I just love the look of the Challengers. And also I drive a Volvo S60, which is a sports sedan, and I continue to drive that rather than a Tesla because it's paid for and I only drive it about 100 miles a month. We take our Model Y for most trips. That is my wife's car, but we do use it for any kind of a trip. So anyway, even though I love sports sedans, I would soften the suspension of the Model 3 and the Model Y, or at least give a sporty option and a more gentle option. People are getting older. The population is getting older. Lots of people like a little softer suspension anyway. Anyway, that's what I would do. I would also make it sportier in appearance, maybe a little more aggressive looking, a little more masculine. That's it. I am judging all of this based on our Model Y because I've never even been inside a Model 3. But everything else works fine. Anything else that I would even remotely consider changing is all in the software. You don't need an upgrade or a change in manufacturing in order to change software. So you can, any of those things I would make on a separate list. Do you have anything that you would change in the Model 3 in this upgrade that's coming? I know it's way too late for Tesla to listen to you, but I'd just be curious. Put it in the comments. If there's something you'd like to see that would be a dramatic change in the new car. All right. So while it is becoming harder to get reliable inventory estimates, according to Troy Teslike, it's harder to get accurate, reliable estimates anymore. He's still posting them. And today he posted them and said that the Tesla inventories are looking very good. So they're down from where it was troubling. They're down in a range, which right now looks fine. All right. So how does the pre-market set up? What do we like? What does it look like we're going to have in store for the rest of this week? Well, all the markets, last time I looked, now that was a half an hour or so ago, but when I looked last time, all of them were up slightly, the NASDAQ up a little more. But there's a huge amount of cash flowing out of stocks and bonds. Where's it going? It's going into the money markets. The amount of money in money markets and cash right now hits another all-time high. I don't even know what the new numbers are. I just know, according to somebody that I trust, that they are even higher than the all-time highs that we announced last week this time. So it's crazy. Massive. It's like people are putting the money under their pillow or under their bedspread, whatever it is, wherever people hide them, in their home safe. There's huge amounts of money. Consumers, businesses have great balance sheets, really good balance sheets. I mentioned this the other day, is that small business owners that I know are now in their 30s and 40s and 50s. They've been in business for 10, 15, 20 years. They don't even need the income. They can cut their salary anytime they want to. They've got money in their homes. They've got money in the bank. They can weather lots of things or just decide not to. They get closed. I mean, it's not a big deal. So small businesses are in great shape. Larger businesses have great balance sheets. Consumers have huge amounts of cash because of COVID. They put it all away. And now people have, last time I checked, 4 times as much money in their bank checking account and savings account as they did pre-COVID. And there's no defaults happening. Just none. I don't care. All the worries about car defaults, used car people, buying used cars, and the used car prices came down, and there'd be all this defaults. Hasn't happened. New car defaults not happening. It was a nothing burger, and people just are not going to default when they've got plenty of cash sitting in their account. They don't want to ruin their credit. Again, the population's getting a lot older, more conservative, more interested in their long-term retirement and all that kind of stuff. The young folks are a very small part of the population now. All right, a bit of worry about commercial office space is the big deal, but it's just one segment of commercial, much less one segment of real estate. I'm not terribly worried about it. Of course, I'm worried about oil. So oil in the pre-market was, what was it? I'm trying to remember now. It's still around 81.5. So we're right there in that same top of the range, but it hasn't gone further, at least last time I looked. So I believe that this next week, the market has nowhere to go but sideways, 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 sideways. That's all it's going to do. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sideways, up, and there could be news that we're not expecting. Obviously, you can never expect what you don't expect. So there's always news that can come in and change everything. But barring really unusual news coming from somewhere, I think we go sideways, could go slightly up because bargain hunting could start. I think when Nvidia comes out on Thursday, it could give us a little bounce, but probably the Fed speakers later on Thursday will kill all of that, and on Friday, kill it dead. The housing stuff is not going to matter. So I just think it's going to be, just a so-so week, all week long. So the following week, of course, we were going to get the PCE, we're going to get the ADP. Both of those are going to be on the 31st. That's going to be a big day. And then following that, we'll have the U.S. Labor Department report on Friday. We'll have a ton of fun that week. But that's kind of the end of August, the beginning of September. September, the worst month of the year for, I forget how many years they've been charting this. September is the worst month of the year for the stock market, but the stock market's so beaten down. I think we're going to have an exception in September. I think that we'll see a move, the second leg of the bull starting probably with the PCE report. If the PCE report comes in at 2.5 and the core comes in at 3.5, the bull will be back. Well, in the meantime, some bargaining might move markets up. Even bonds could potentially move up next week with interest rates or the rates coming down. I'm seeing more and more analysts saying that the 30-year bonds are a smart move. And I've believed this for a long time. If you watch this show, I started saying that, 4 or 5 months ago. Now, if I bought those 30-year bonds 4 or 5 months ago, I would be so far underwater right now, but I would still be sitting on them. And I'd be sitting there with 4% interest rate. So grabbing a 4.3, doing that, some people that are not doing this in their pension funds, and they have to pay taxes on it, are putting into utilities, into utility bonds. So that's another way to go. This is not investment advice. I'm just reporting on what I'm hearing from others. So, you get a guaranteed deal, you ride the wave. If and when interest rates come down, you make money on the underlying bond. This is not investment advice. Okay, Tesla, same song, second verse. No news that we know of. A ton of news coming. We just don't know when. The catalysts that are coming are huge. Could people start to creep up on those announcements? We know they're getting closer and closer. The Highland, the Cybertruck, so many other things that are potentially, I've listed them. You've seen me talk about them over and over again. So will people start doing the FOMO thing, start wanting to try to get in there before these things happen? Possibly. So if anything, I would tend to think next week the market could drift up, Tesla could drift up as we get into these things that we've already talked about that could kill it on Thursday, Friday, and next Wednesday. Or next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday, could make something really great happen. Okay, that's all I got for you. So it's time to hit the like button now. It's time to hit subscribe. It's time to hit notify. We will have a program, of course, bright and early, 6:10 tomorrow morning. We'll be talking about the overnight news. We'll be talking about what's happening with the market the first 10 or 15 minutes. We'll give you any additional expectations that we have come up with by that time. And so I'll look forward to seeing you in the morning. And that's all I've got for you. And it's been great talking to you. Oh, I almost forgot. There's always Patreon. You can always do that. Bye.